Good evening, and welcome to another hangout of You Ought to Know Live, seen and heard live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right on YouAutoKnowLive.com. I'm Dave Serio. Pleasure to be with you this evening. A number of my friends will be with me this evening talking about the car business and how we can save you money and giving you helpful tips on that, and also not only car repair, but also car detailing, and even the buying and selling of products like Jasper engines and transmissions. So we'll start off, first of all, I'm the host of a radio program called You Ought to Know. It's live every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. until noon. That's Eastern Time. And it's available on my website, daveserio.com, and also in stations on Baltimore and Frederick, Maryland throughout the day on Saturday. So if you get a chance, you can always watch the shows on archive at daveserio.com. And there's also information on how you can watch the shows live either on your computer or also with the free You Ought to Know app available for both Android and also iPhone tablets and phones. All right, let's get to our first guest. Our first guy up tonight was, let's see, was that Dave Windward? I think it was. Dave Windward was our first guy up today from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Hey, Dave has finally won something today.
I won.
Dave was bored to death because he was home working because he had the little one from school, so he had to stay home and work from home today, huh?
Yeah. So I was on quick, trying to get away from it all.
When the wife came home, said, "Here, she's yours." There you go. So tell us a little bit about Jasper Engines and Transmissions and what's going on with them.
Well, we're hopefully going to be busy because of all this cold weather. We had some challenges getting product out because of the storm that just came through, and it came through. I think it started in Jasper, Indiana, and finished in Baltimore or on the Eastern Shore, and it just kind of the route our trucks were supposed to take, it kind of followed the path. So our trucks couldn't make it last night. So I believe they're on the way tonight, and we actually couldn't make any deliveries on a large region this today. So that's going to be a challenge, but we'll just have to, trying to get caught back up after something like that can be a nightmare because you might have 50 deliveries scheduled, and now tomorrow it could be 80 to 100 plus all the cores you have to get picked up. It can really be stressful for the delivery drivers.
I hear that, and it's already a tough thing for them because they're already working pretty hard. I know that because people don't understand, but you don't do anything that's light. Your differentials, your engines, your transmissions, they're all heavy stuff. Yeah. So you got the right equipment to get them in and out of the truck. But as we like to say in our business, it doesn't have a zipper. You got to really work at it to unload and load this stuff every single time.
Yeah, and interestingly, those box trucks normally don't do good in the snow, but when they're loaded with about 4 big block Chevys and a couple diesel engines, they get plenty of traction.
Yeah, they go through with no problem. Well, Jasper Engines and Transmissions is an employee-owned company, and I know you don't get a chance to talk about it a lot, but really every employee, after a period of time, is a part owner of the company.
Yes, that's correct, and everyone has a certain amount of shares. You have to be with the company, I believe it's 5 years to be fully vested in the program, and it started about 6 years ago. So everyone, I've been with the company 14 years. So it was an interesting change, and I think it's very beneficial to the company, and it creates a lot of a lot of just quality because everyone is working toward a goal. We're all part of something.
Right. Now I've never asked you this, but when, let's say 6 years ago they did this, and you had already been with the company 8 years, did they take those 8 years into consideration when they talked about stock and options and things like that?
Hey, it's a good question.
Start off on the same plane?
Yeah, I don't know the way those systems work, and it's called an employee stock ownership plan.
Right.
And they allot everyone so many shares per year based on different criteria as far as how long you've been there, some other things. So it may have had an effect.
Very good. All right, so Jasper Engines rebuilds or remanufactures engines, transmissions, differentials. They also do transfer cases. And I know you've got a lighting company and a lot of other things that Jasper's involved with. Give a real quick synopsis before we're going to come back to you when you do your contest, and also do you have a video for us tonight?
Yeah, I do. I have just a couple brief things I wanted to talk about differentials, because when it's
Okay,
snowy and icy, that's one thing that gets torn up.
go ahead. We'll start. Go ahead and start with that and show your video.
Oh, gotcha. Well, the out at the factory, one of the processes when we're doing a differential is if you've ever had a differential part, I actually have a this is actually a pinion gear out of an 8-inch Ford, but there's a lot of shimming that needs to be done when you're setting up a rear. And
Now, I got to ask you, is that your opinion?
it was.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Yeah. Well, this was out of the Mustang. This
Okay.
yeah,
There you go. So that really is your opinion.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the Mustang 1968, it came with a like a
292.
gear ratio. It was
Yeah.
it was higher than that. And
Okay.
yeah, that's a good highway gear, but not real good for getting the umph off the line. So I changed it to 350 gears with a all-burn posi unit because it was just what we used to call them single trackers, one-leggers. You know, when you did a burnout, it was just one.
Yeah. One wheel would turn, and when that wheel stopped turning, nothing turned.
Exactly. So, you know, when we talk about shims, actually there may or may not be a shim inside in between this bearing and the pinion gear, because you use shims to set the different depths and angles. And some of these new differentials, you have to have so many different types of shims. Now, one thing that we do not do at Jasper Engines is it's called stacking a shim. So if you have two washers or shims that are, and say you need 20 thousandths worth of shimming, you know, somebody might use 2 tens or 4, 5,000 shims. The problem with that is when you start stacking them, you can get a little piece of dirt in there, or you know, something that a little piece of grit or metal, and when you're putting it all together, you know, that little piece of metal might be a couple thousand. So when you start torquing everything together, you know, you might run into problems going down the line. So we do not stack any shims, but one of the challenges with that is we have to have a lot of shims in stock. So I had a quick little video of one of our departments just walking by the table. See if I can get this up. And I don't know how many shims are here, but to me it looks like it could be several, maybe several hundreds or thousands.
Oh, really?
So there's and these are double-sided, so there's shims on the front and shims on the back.
Wow. I heard the words "oh really" come up. That sounded like my voice.
It might have been because you were standing there. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's about 100, 200, 300, 400. That's about, you know, at least 600 shims right there. And you know, we have to have every brand of every type of every shim that we do, just to ensure that we're not, you know, double stacking shims. Where it's, if you need a 13,000 shim, you're getting a 13,000 shim, not a 10 and a 3, which is it's fairly common practice in the industry, but it's not a practice that we want to participate in.
Well, I'll tell you, the quality is unmistakable, and a lot of people don't realize that rear differentials or front differentials for four-wheel drive vehicles, how many special tools are necessary in order to put those together, and to try to do it on a bench in a shop that is not, you know, the cleanest. Nothing you can do about it. It's just the way shops are. You know, you got heating systems and air conditioning systems blowing on everything, and I'm telling you, you know, it really is dangerous a situation to do a good quality job. That's why I had a gentleman call me today on a 95 Tahoe, and I knew I wasn't going to sell him a Jasper remanufactured rear differential, because a 95 Tahoe is not worth what it costs to put one of those in. And the estimate came to about $2,700. And he went, well, it's not in my budget. I understand that. But I'm not going to take his Tahoe and try to replace a ring and a pinion without replacing all the gears, and then having the, you know, these bearings go bad, and trying to get those things together and then line this up and get the act. It's just too much work. It's well, it's not too much work. I don't mind doing too much work. It's a situation where if you do it, and a good chance things won't go well.
Yeah, it's a lot of liability. And one of the things you know, it's very common for me to hear shops putting used differentials in where you go to the junkyard to get the whole
Right.
assembly. And the pricing of our differentials is actually very close in a lot of situations, a lot of times, to what it would cost for a used one. And I've actually seen certain rears in the bigger Fords, like the F350s. One time we were actually less than the junkyard wanted, and the guy had already purchased the rear, and I looked up the price, and we were less money than the one he got from the junkyard, so he sent it back, and I wound ahead, you know, send him one of ours. But
sometimes you have to kind of wake up junkyards too.
Yeah.
They sometimes go a little off the deep end if they don't know what's out there.
Yeah, and it used to be fairly common practice to rebuild rears in the shop like you were talking about, but a lot of these rears now, especially the front differentials in four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive vehicles, are aluminum housings, and when the bearings spin, they ruin the cases, and a lot of times we have to replace the case or weld the cases, and it can be quite extensive. So, you know, a lot of shops are moving away from doing any kind of gear changes or rebuilding and just, you know, throwing a unit in.
You got it. Well, very good, Mr. Dave. We're going to come back to you in just a few minutes, and got a contest for us, and we missed you, so we look forward to talking to you. Hold on one moment, okay?
All right.
All right, we're going to go with Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Jose is having a difficult time getting in. Hopefully he'll be able to hang in there with us right now. But, Mike, good evening to you, Mr. Lambert.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Once again, I want to say thanks to Lena. I talked to her earlier before we got on the air, but I want to do this on the air. Lena, your wife, was extremely, I can't even tell you what it meant to me. Everybody that knows me knows I love my dog. Okay, He and I are buddies. We go to work together every day. I'm with him, you know, I won't say 24/7, but there's a lot of time in the day that me and my boy are together. And we were at a car show, a number of car shows over the last year and a half, and Lena took a picture of him about a year and a half ago, and I remember it happening. In fact, Jose, it was right at your car show, not last year, but the year before. And I remember seeing the picture and saying, oh, that's a great picture of him. I'd like to get a copy of that. Didn't think any more of it, but Lena, being the nice person that she is, but also the talented person, she's a beautiful artist, Mike. I'm telling you, this is fantastic. She did a painting, a portrait of this picture, and gave it to me and Michelle last week, and I'm telling you, it really meant a lot to me.
Well, good. I'm glad you're happy with it. Yeah, she amazes me. I'll tell you. I don't know where she gets it from, but she certainly is talented.
There is no doubt about it. That is extreme talent. I mean, this picture, this portrait, looks just like the picture. And you know what's great? Okay, I've got that portrait for as long as I want. Okay, I don't have to worry about my camera, my phone getting lost, or having something happen to that, and you know, buying another phone and not being able to transfer stuff like that. It really meant a lot to me. So I'm thanking Lena once again in public. Thank you so much.
That's good. Glad you're happy.
All right, so what you got in back of you? Is that your Challenger?
That's my finally clean Challenger.
There you go. There you go. You still thinking about updating that bad boy to a 2015?
No, I tell you what. The more I drive this one, the more I like it, and I just like it. So it's staying for a while.
Great. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah,
For those of you that don't know, Mike has a 2013 Challenger RT, and he's got an all black one. It is no stripes, stripe delete, and really beautiful car. And the great thing about Mike is when he has a black car, he has a black car. That car is just gorgeous. And of course, you know, you have the Geon ceramic coating on it, which you had a chance to do on Michelle's RAV4, which looks great. It doesn't look great right now. It's been out in the snow and the salt. We call this the salt belt. I went down south the beginning of last week and came back, and I had my vehicle cleaned up down there down south, and it was beautiful the whole time I was down there, and all the way up to the Virginia-Maryland line. And then I entered Maryland and ran into 2 inches of salt. Amazing. I mean, my gosh, the money this state has spent on salt, incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, it's a challenge around here. That's why we're pretty much closed for this week. But it's unfortunately Lena's schedule so in the wintertime, so we have room to move people around. So it's not like we're losing work. We're just moving it elsewhere, and that way I don't feel bad about taking people's money.
Very good. So tell us a little bit about the Geon ceramic coatings.
Geon is one of the coatings that's out on the market that came directly from Hong Kong, actually, and we kind of moved into that after some difficulties with the other company, and we always looking for something that's a little bit better, and Geon's different.
The difficulties with the other company wasn't the product; it was
no,
just
not at all. Not at all.
It was the distribution, right?
Right. Yeah, nothing wrong with the product, and I still have people coming in here from 2.5 years ago with the original coating we were doing, and it still looks fine. I have nothing bad to say about the product at all.
Right.
But we are always looking for something that's a little bit better and newer technology, like cell phone technology. And Geon's one of the very few, if not the only, coating manufacturer that doesn't make theirs with alcohol as the carrying agent that puts the product on the paint. So what that does is that allows more of the product to stay on the paint versus the alcohol evaporating some of the product off with it quickly. So we really like it. We've used, they offer 3 different coatings, and we use 2 of them. We use the better of their coatings is called Moe's, and that's what's on your station wagon and the Toyota, and that's a two coat system, and it's extremely hard. And as all coatings, it doesn't wear off, it doesn't wash off, things like that. And then we use, and then for newer cars like the 2013, and anybody that brings in new cars in, we have Moe's Plus, which adds a 3rd layer that is just makes it harder and basically makes it shinier. Is what the 3rd layer does.
Well, why was my Magnum just as expensive as my Viper, huh?
Well, the reason is.
Kidding. I'm just kidding you. You're worth much more than what you charge. I'll tell you that right now.
The reason that we keep the Moe's Plus for the newer cars or people that don't want me to do the interior is it takes another 4 hours to do.
Wow.
So I don't really have the time to spend on the interior.
Right.
So if somebody's not concerned about the interior, we'll be more than happy to do that. But it's basically for new cars.
The 72 Pantera, but it had a current paint job on it.
No.
That you did the 3 coat also on?
No, we did the regular Moe's on that too.
Okay, because I'll tell you, Dave and Jose, you should see the Pantera. You should see the Pantera. Oh my God.
Pretty good.
I cannot believe what this man did with that car. I've had that car for 30 years, and I'm telling you flat out, that is the best that car has ever looked. I mean, it didn't look like that from the factory. I mean, it looks great.
The gentleman that painted the car did an excellent job. I found very few defects in it, and that's unusual for somebody that's not painting in an absolutely sterile environment.
Yeah, he doesn't have a paint booth.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. He did an excellent job. I can't say anything bad about that. I've seen cars come from really high-end paint shops that weren't that good.
That's great. Well, I will make sure I pass that on to him.
That makes it a little easier on me.
Yes. So you did a beautiful job with it. The color came out great. The interior looks fantastic. I mean, it's just amazing, Mike. And I know people must think that you bribe me every single time we talk on the air or we talk here, but it's just unreal. The Viper, 2013 Spriker Red Viper, it was beautiful with the first coating, but this Geon even brought it out even more.
What I like about the Geon is, and it's kind of hard to explain, is it gives you the look of a really good Carnauba wax. It gives you that kind of rich color to it. It's not really like a screaming brassy, shiny color. It kind of deepens and richens the color, and that's what I really like about it. And like I said, I had the other coating on my car, and people were like, "Yeah, it looks really good." And then when we went to the Geon, everybody's like, "What'd you do to your car?" And even I could notice a difference in the black. And if you can notice a difference in the way black looks, that's saying something. So we've been really impressed with it. Todd Cooperrider out at Esoteric Auto Detail. He's the only one in the country that brings it in. And after talking to him about it before we started using it, he was really impressed. And he's like the go-to guy for Ferraris. I mean, people ship their Ferraris to him, or they fly him out to do their Ferraris. So he knows. He's been around a long while, and he was real impressed with it. to the point where he doesn't even sell. He sells 2 coatings, and Geon's the main one. So he got rid of everything else he sells. So that's
good. Your contact information. Your phone number is 410-833-1632. The website is right there on your lower third, theshineshopAutoDetailing.com. You've got pictures up there. Did you get pictures of my Viper up there yet?
I don't know if they're on there yet. Elena's doing a lot of work revamping the website, so
Okay.
If they're not there now, they'll be up very shortly.
Good. And you got a beautiful job there on the website. Information on there, not only, of course, of what you do as far as the products with the synthetic waxes and also the ceramic coatings, but you also have your pricing on there, vehicles that you've already done, and you've had some really great vehicles in there over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've been real fortunate. I was really surprised. We've gotten a lot of your listeners, to be honest with you, quite a few of them, and they've all been really nice people, which is surprising. So,
what kind of remark is that? My listeners are surprisingly nice. What kind of crack is that, mister?
Every single one of them has been nice, and which is amazing. If they listen to your show every week, I didn't think everybody would be nice.
All right, well, we'll leave it at that. That way we won't get into fisticuffs. So thank you so much, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes, Mike.
All right, thank you.
Jose, are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me okay?
I can, sir. Good to hear from you, buddy. Jose Bueso, he is one of the partners in Dynamic Automotive, 3 locations in the Frederick area. Where's your dynamic duo, Todd?
Oh, well, he was not towing, but plowing all night long.
Say no more.
He came in, did a full day, and he told me to say, Dave, hello, but I'm going home to sleep.
He's already asleep, I'm sure.
That guy is sacked out. Yeah, he looked like
a zombie. He does that for himself on the side?
What's that?
He does that for himself on the side?
Yes.
Very good. Does he plow your lot?
He plows our lot also.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
Well, it's good to have you, Jose. We've missed you guys. This is the first time we've had all 4 of us together in a while. Between being away and weather inclinations and problem with the internet. One night we were just ready to get on, and I lost my internet completely. So for a couple hours.
Right.
So glad to have all 4 of us together.
That sort of stuff happens. I thought it was happening to me tonight. My system. Actually, I had a power problem, and my systems decided to shut down on me, but I was able to bring them back alive, and here I am.
Great. All right, well, tell us about the 3 locations. It's not too often to see auto repair shops that aren't franchises have multiple locations like you do, and you're very fortunate to have 3 of them in different areas of the Frederick County area so that you can hit a lot of different type of customers.
Right, yeah. And you're right. We're not a franchise. We're privately owned. I have a couple of partners, and I am one of the founders. And we started in Newmarket, Maryland, with a little 2-bay shop, and we ran that shop for about 10 years. And we expanded to this shop where I'm at, which is in Liberty Town, about 8 to 10 miles away from Newmarket. And then a couple of years later, after getting this one off the ground, and we weren't really getting this one off the ground. 2 years sometimes just isn't enough time. My partner Lee came to me and said, "Hey, I've got a fantastic opportunity. We can purchase some property in the Urbana area, which is up and coming, Jose." And I told him, I thought, "You're crazy. I mean, we have too big.
Buying property in the middle of nowhere, virtually, right?"
Yeah. And lo and behold, well, we thought, okay, we better look at this seriously. We did a feasibility study on it, and the numbers worked. The demographics agreed that this could work, and we took the plunge, and Urbana was born, and that location's been open now for going on 10 years. 10 years.
I gotta ask you a question about that. The Urbana area, would you say that a lot of the people that live there work in the D.C. area or the D.C. suburbs?
Yes, it's definitely a bedroom community. They are going down the road to Montgomery County, Washington, D.C., and other areas to work.
So how do you handle the folks' transportation? Are they mostly just dropping off vehicles and leaving them, and they fend for themselves to get back home or get to DC or get to the metro or whatever? Do you offer any kind of assistance for folks to be able to get where they got to get?
One of the conveniences of that particular location, it is within walking distance of a Kiss and Ride, which serves 70 corridor, and that works out very well. A lot of these people do belong to carpools, and they share rides, and we do have a couple of loaner cars that we're able to lend out also. As a matter of fact, all 3 locations have loaner cars that we lend out. But
you've got a very, very close-knit community there. If you have to kiss somebody just to get a ride, that's incredible.
That's how it works in Urbana.
But if it works, it works.
It works. Yep.
Give us the background of all 3 locations as far as contact information and who's doing all the hard work there.
Okay. Well, over here, obviously, Todd and Scott do all of the hard work. I just am the fill-in. I work for them. And if you reach me at this location, you can call me at 301-694-6250. Our original location is in Newmarket, and that phone number is 301-694-5460. You'll talk to the lovely Sarah and my partner, Lee, over there at that location. He works for Sarah. Right. And at the Urbana location, that phone number is 301-874-8833, and you'll probably get either Jason or Kevin on the line, and Robert also. You'll also get to meet Big Bobby Allen, and my partner Dwayne Myers works at that location. Now that location has a 9-bay full-service repair shop, a 4-bay quick lube facility up front so we can get you in and out. A quick lube facility is the fast food of automotive, and it's also got a 60-foot soft cloth car wash that Mr. Mike Lambert endorses completely.
There you go. Have there been any temperatures out there recently that the car wash cannot operate in?
As a matter of fact, Sunday we had to shut it down because it was just too cold. Yes.
That's a smart thing.
Yeah.
It's a smart thing. Because honestly, that kind of temperature is probably not a good thing to have your car washed in those cold temperatures also.
Yeah.
Because it's going to freeze. That water is going to freeze in places when it goes out the door.
Right.
So I guess when it gets down to 0 to 10, you got to be concerned.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you can't open your doors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not something you want. So I'm glad that you guys, well, of course, you know your business, and that's the important thing. So great. But you do, that 60-foot car wash is Mike Lambert's favorite car wash.
Absolutely.
Other than his own, he still likes doing the manual stuff, but if it's got to be automatic, it's got to be dynamic automotive.
Yep.
All right. One other reminder: you're nice enough to give everybody 10% off too. Parts and labor. All you've got to do is mention my name or the radio show You Ought to Know. So my name, by the way, is Dave Serio. So they mentioned Dave Serio or You Ought to Know, and you go 10% off the top.
And I can add to that, actually, Dave, for the month of March, which is going to be our 20th anniversary, if they mention Dave Serio or the show You Ought to Know, they will get 20% off of any labor operation at any of the locations here in Frederick.
Okay, so instead of the 10% off the total ticket, it'll be 20% off labor?
Exactly.
Good. Wow. All right. So, well, let me make sure I get this straight, because I'm going to be announcing it on the radio. The 10% off parts, is that still there?
Actually, for that special, it's 20% off on labor only.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair. I mean, it really is fair, because nowadays, usually labor is a good percentage of the ticket. So to get 20% off labor is a very good deal.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I had the perfectly right so that I can announce it for you on the radio, and we'll start that next week by mentioning that your special for March will be that.
And then I'm going to change it up again once we're in March. One more time for you, Dave.
Okay. Very good. Well, great. Well, thank you, Jose, for being with us. We'll be back with you in just a few moments. Going to say get our contest with Dave, say our goodbyes to both Mike and yourself, and we'll be back with you, okay?
Thank you very much, Dave. Always a pleasure being here.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure, too. Dave Windward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Dave, whenever you're with us, you always try to have a contest or two. What do you have to give away?
I got something new and special. This is awesome. Because when it's a cold day like today, you definitely need a nice pair of leather gloves.
Woo! With the Jasper monogram on there, yeah.
If the glove fits, you must acquit.
Must acquit. There you go.
But they're actually very nice. And the last time, it's been a few weeks, but we had a picture of a old Ford Bronco. That was a 1976 Ford Bronco. That was the last year of the first generation, and then they went to the bigger ones that had the removable cab on the back.
Many opinions, that's when they ruined it in '77.
Yeah, those old ones were nice.
Oh, they were. And well, so were the 77s and up. But the 76 and older, they had character. You know, they were very similar to a Jeep Wrangler type of vehicle or Toyota Land Cruiser in its early infancy. Neat vehicle.
Yep.
So what do we have to give away? We know we're giving away. What's the contest tonight?
We got another Name This Tool, and this is
Okay. And we're not talking about Mike Lambert, right?
No, not Mike.
Okay.
Thanks,
Dave.
Actually, I got one.
All right.
One of these guys, and it kind of, it.
Okay.
If I can get it in the screen, it moves. There's.
All right.
You guys know exactly what this thing is.
Like Sesame Street.
Yeah.
The letter C.
It used to be a real common tool in the shops, but you don't see it too often anymore. But still very, very much used. So you know what that is? You get these awesome.
All right, folks.
Folks
listening right now, the rule is simple. In order to win the gloves, be the first person to email Dave at jasperman73@gmail.com with the correct answer on what that tool name is, and Dave will get a hold of you and send you out the gloves in the mail. Right?
That's correct.
All right, so jasperman73@gmail.com. First correct answer emailed to Dave gets the gloves. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to say goodbye and come back to Mr. Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Mike, once again, is sitting in front of his beautiful black Challenger. And you're going to be at Hunt Valley Horsepower this week. Are you planning it?
We're planning on it, but I don't know. I don't know if like 0 degrees if I'm going or not, to be honest with you.
I don't blame you. If it's that cold. You went last week, and I was surprised because it was that cold last week.
It was, but well, getting over there is this hard part. Getting out, getting motivated to go over there. But once we get over there, we stay in a coffee shop. It's not like we're standing out on the parking lot.
Right. But still, it's a little tough. I know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've had some pretty severe temperatures. Of course, Monday morning was the real severe temperature for us. At my house, it was 0 degrees on my car. I've never seen that before.
It's been rough. It's been rough, and they say it's gonna get bad.
Yeah. Oh, well, hey, we're not in Boston.
That's true.
That's okay. They won the championship by luck. They deserve it. Hit them with 12 more inches of snow. I'd be happy.
Yeah, they're earning 6 inches away from their all-time record, so good for them.
I wish them the best of luck. All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you being with us. 410-833-1632. You're always willing to take questions about auto detailing, and it doesn't mean people have to call and automatically make appointments and schedule things. You're willing to give answers and help people out, and we appreciate that. And of course, your website is ShineShopAutoDetailing.com.
Yes, sir. And Lena's completely revamping it, so check in with it. We're going to have a lot of tips and information on there that we haven't had before, so she's doing a wonderful job.
Great. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Jose, thank you once again. Tell Todd that we missed him. If he's still conscious tomorrow enough to be able to recognize our voices, tell him that we look forward to talking to him again. And thanks for being with us this evening.
Always a pleasure. Had a lot of fun. Glad I was able to get back on with you guys.
Thank you. 301-694-6250 and dynamicautomotive.net is the place to go for Jose's business, all 3 locations. And don't forget, this month, if you get to Dynamic Automotive, 10% off parts and labor on the ticket for mentioning my name, Dave Serio, or the show You Ought to Know. And if you happen to have car problems in March, 20% off the top on all labor just by mentioning my name. So thank you so much, mister.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Jose. Once again, name that tool, which I always like to say, and the gloves are the winner. the winning gift, and jasperman73@gmail.com is the place to send that email. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
All right, Dave Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. I'm Dave Serio, the radio show You Ought to Know, Saturdays 7 a.m. to 12 noon. 5 hours of You Ought to Know on the web at daveserio.com. I own an auto repair shop in Bel Air, Maryland. If you want to find out more about that, check the website on the bottom there, my lower third, vehicleserviceplus.com. And we thank you very much for being with us. If you've watched this on archive, we'd love to have you join us next Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. For those of you that joined us tonight, we thank you, and we look forward to talking to you again. You've been watching You Ought to Know Live on YouAutoKnowLive.com, part of the Hangout10.com network. Good night.